What's up YouTube, Saf here on Super Saf TV, and in this video we're going to be looking at the key differences between the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge and the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. What's new, what's different, and is it worth upgrading from the S7 Edge to the S8 Plus? Well, let's find out. So the biggest visual difference between the S7 Edge and the S8 Plus is the display. You now have a 6.2 inch display on the S8 Plus compared to the 5.5 inch display on the S7 Edge. Both of these are Super AMOLED displays, so very vibrant colors with deep blacks, but the S8 Plus is actually the first mobile device that's been certified by the UHD Alliance. What's even more impressive is that the S8 Plus is actually not too much bigger than the S7 Edge. Just 0.8mm in terms of the width, 0.4mm in terms of the thickness, and 8.6mm in terms of the height. Now, the additional height is because of the new aspect ratio 18.5:9 versus 16:9 on the S7 Edge. And the thinking behind the new aspect ratio is that we're scrolling so much on our smartphones these days, whether that be on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and this way you can fit so much more on your screen. Also, with advanced features like multi-window, you can now have a video playing, have your messaging app open, as well as the keyboard, and this is all going to fit in better on the S8 Plus compared to the S7 Edge. The additional height of the S8 Plus also means that we have more pixels, 2960 by 1440 QHD Plus versus QHD 2560 by 1440 on the S7 Edge. Now personally, I really love the display of the S7 Edge, and it was definitely one of the best displays of 2016. And with the S8 Plus, it's definitely been improved, having a much larger display on a similar footprint. And the overall design of the S8 Plus also makes it actually easier to hold compared to the S7 Edge. The S8 Plus is curved symmetrically on all sides, which is a great touch. With the S7 Edge, although it's fine overall, you could definitely feel the edges when holding the device in one hand. Now, the overall design language is similar, so we've still got a metal frame with curved Gorilla Glass panels on the front and back, but we have Gorilla Glass 5 on the S8 Plus versus Gorilla Glass 4 on the S7 Edge. So the S8 Plus is going to be a little bit more durable compared to the S7 Edge, and both also have IP68 water and dust resistance, which is definitely a useful feature. Both devices can be a little bit slippery in the hand, and because of the glass, they do attract fingerprints. So I'd definitely recommend a skin from our sponsor Dbrand. I'll be leaving a link to Dbrand in the description below, so definitely do go ahead and check them out. Now the internals is where you have another improvement on the S8 Plus with the Snapdragon 835 versus the 820, or the Exynos 8895 versus the 8890 on the S7 Edge. Now the S7 Edge has been pretty smooth and snappy overall, but with the newer internals, you are going to be getting better performance overall on the S8 Plus, and it's also going to last you longer. You've got 4GB RAM on both, and if you want a detailed speed test between these two, then definitely let me know in the comments below, and I'll be doing that once we have the retail version of the S8 Plus available. The S8 Plus also has a larger base storage, 64GB versus 32 on the S7 Edge. Both also have a micro SD card slot, which is definitely a useful thing to have. Now moving on to the cameras, the rear-facing camera really hasn't had much of a change in terms of the hardware. You still have 12 megapixels with optical image stabilization, an f1.7 aperture, and dual pixel autofocus, which was one of the fastest that I tested last year. The main improvement on the S8 Plus comes on the image processing side of things. So you've got something called multi-frame image processing, which basically takes multiple images when you press down the shutter, and it will take information from all of these images to give you the best possible image. We do have an upgrade in terms of the front-facing camera, however, 8 megapixels up from 5 megapixels last year, still with an f1.7 aperture, and this time we also have autofocus. Front-facing cameras generally don't have autofocus, so the S8 Plus having this will improve your selfies. And once again, if you want to see a detailed camera comparison, Super Saf style between these two, then definitely leave a comment below. Both have Android version 7 with Samsung's UI on top, but the S8 Plus will be getting the updates sooner compared to the S7 Edge just because it's a new device. Now looking at some of the other features, both have a fingerprint scanner. The S7 Edge has a fingerprint scanner on the home button, and it's a physical button. The S8 Plus now has a capacitive home button because there is no more space for a physical home button. This is also pressure sensitive, so you can press it anywhere you are and that will bring you back home. And because of this, the fingerprint scanner has now moved to the back near the camera. Now I know the placement of this is questionable, but Samsung have now included an iris scanner as well as facial recognition, which should hopefully mean that you don't have to use a fingerprint scanner as much. The S8 Plus also has Bluetooth 5.0. This is going to bring you improvements and is also going to let you connect on to multiple devices at one time. And I believe it's one of the first smartphones with this feature. You also have USB Type-C compared to micro USB on the S7 Edge. In terms of the speakers, both of them still have a single bottom-facing speaker, and the big standout feature on the S8 Plus is Bixby. This is Samsung's new advanced AI assistant, which is going to let you do voice commands to control pretty much anything on your phone, but more importantly, it also has visual assistance. So you can point your camera at, say, a book, QR code, street sign, and it's going to pull up more relevant information about that. Now for the batteries, you've got a 3500 mAh battery on the S8 Plus. The S7 Edge actually has a slightly larger battery coming in at 3600 mAh. Now with the newer processor, the S8 Plus is most likely going to be performing a little bit better. The S7 Edge started off great in terms of battery life, but over time the battery life has deteriorated. I'm going to have to spend some more time with the S8 Plus when it has the final software to really determine how good the battery is. And both smartphones support fast charging as well as fast wireless charging. This, as always, gives you lots of flexibility for charging, but also will allow you to get the faster top-ups when needed. Now, finally looking at the price, for the S8 Plus, you are going to be paying premium because it is a new device coming out on the 21st of April. With the S7 Edge, you can expect to pay around about 30% less compared to the S8 Plus. Once the S8 Plus has released commercially, I can only expect the S7 Edge to drop further in price. So if you are on a bit of a budget, then the S7 Edge may still be a good option for you. So guys, that was the S7 Edge versus the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. What do you guys think? How much improvement do we have here on the S8 Plus? Drop me a comment below and let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out. And if you haven't already, then be sure to subscribe and switch on notifications. We've got plenty more coverage coming up on here. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on Super Saf TV, and I'll see you next time.